welcome to Managing My Money with Rosa. Today I am going to work out February's second weekly budget. If you're new here, thanks for stopping in today. I appreciate it. I'd really appreciate if you take a second and hit subscribe down below. If you are returning, hey, thanks for coming back. I appreciate you too. I would love a thumbs up from everybody, if you wouldn't mind. And if you have any questions or comments on anything I do today, I would love to hear it. So back in November, December of last year, I realized I wasn't certain where my money was going. So January, new year, new thoughts, new budget, figured that I would start to write out what was going on with my weekly budgets. So I did that for the month of January. I think I have an idea of why I'm not stuffing my sinking funds the way I would love to be stuffing them. So I'm going to continue into February and write out a weekly budget. Now, last month I did week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. This month I've decided to try something different because why not? This is week 1. This will be week 3. The thought process is these are my paychecks. So on these two are going to be my husband's checks. So this will be week 2 and week 4. So let's get started. Weekly budget, week 2, February budget. Now, this is something that I have not really ever done as a weekly budget. I am a monthly budgeter where I just write out what my bills are going to be. I do have a spreadsheet that contains all of these numbers that I have written down, but I couldn't figure out where my extra money was going, so I decided that maybe I needed the visual to be able to see it. So that's why I've decided to write everything down. And because I wasn't certain how this was going to look, I didn't purchase somebody else's tracker. I've seen lots of great ones, and that's kind of what I've modeled this after, is some of the different ones that I've seen. Like, I break it up into categories. So just knowing that this is my way and my thought process to make it through all of this. So income. This is my husband's check. And this month, or this week, I couldn't believe it. So we had COVID a couple weeks ago, and then his boss got COVID. So this check for him was huge. He ended up with over 50 hours of work, plus 1 or 2 sick days on this check, because the way his checks fall, he gets paid every 2 weeks. So this is an abnormally large check for my husband. So he got paid $1,150.01. So trying to think forward and not wanting to just zero out the account, I've decided to leave a lot of funds in here that maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to, just because this is not normal for us. I'd kind of like to see if we can carry it forward, honestly. So my husband's check, unlike mine, has our cash funds that come out of it. So my check, I don't put anything in cash funds. I try to take the bills and pay the bills out of my check, and his goes directly towards those cash funds that we have. So the first is my husband gets cash. If you've been around, you know that he gets typically $200. Because this check was so large, I decided to go with $250, hoping that we can stay out of the extra that's in here when he runs out of his $200, because it never seems to fail. He runs out of his $200, but that's okay. Fast food. I figure if we're going to do it, we might as well budget for it. We put $100 to the side for this. Gas. So some of you get a little upset that I set aside $250 for him and then I don't set aside as much for me. Well, that's because little things like this gas, this $50 is for my gas, not for his. So that immediately, that's $50 that I guess you could kind of say goes into my pocket, that I'm gonna spend. Groceries, G-R-O-C, sorry, all of a sudden I couldn't spell, gets $200. And that $200, again, I feel like it's a bonus for me because I get to go spend it. So I don't worry so much that I don't have as much spending cash. Our youngest gets an allowance. He gets $10. He doesn't do much. He doesn't get much. Paper goods. So years ago, my husband, I would go grocery shopping and I'd come home and my husband would go, so how much in groceries did you get? And I'd say $200. And he'd go, in groceries, or that's how much you spent? I said, well, that's how much I spent. He goes, no, that's not the question I asked you. How much did you spend in groceries? Well, I don't know. I bought some paper towels. I got some stuff for the bathroom. I got some, and I'd start listing things. He's like, okay, so how much did you actually spend in groceries? And I never knew. So I've decided that as part of the budget that I want to actually separate them so that I know what I'm spending on groceries and then what I'm spending on paper goods or toiletries or other things. So I put a little bit aside every time he gets paid for paper goods, and then I go bulk buy all of them. So that's $25. We have a pet. If you hear scratching in the background, our dog, for some reason, is going through something where she likes to scratch the carpet like she's making herself a little bed. I don't know, but that's what's going on. If you hear it in the background, I'm so sorry. And we also, my husband loves to feed the birds outside, so I put $10 aside this month. We have an RV. Now, I do consider this one of my bills. However, when we bought the RV, we agreed that this would come out of my husband's paycheck. So it still does. That's not going to change. And that's $100 every time he gets paid. I get a little bit of cash. Most of my spending needs get taken care of with household things. So I truly do not have a lot of spending power for myself. I put $25 to the side for myself. And then toiletries. And I'm going to put $15 to the side this time. And when I add all of those together, it gives me $785. Now, unfortunately, I did not come prepared. I didn't do the math already. So give me a second while I get out my spiffy calculator. 1150.01 minus 785. 365.01. All right, so that's after the cash funds get stuffed. And then sinking funds are next. Yes, sinking funds are next. The first sinking fund that I'm going to put money in, I do every time he gets paid, are family birthdays. So there are some sinking funds that always get money in them, and that's because I need that money. So I think that's part of my problem too on where my cash is going, is that I have sinking funds I have to put money in every time. And then there are those, I'd like to save some money for that. So I think that's part of my problem too. So family birthday is going to get $25. I am going to do family time. I'm going to drop $5 into there. My goal, I want to get us a very nice stand-up fireproof safe. And I'm going to set $5 aside for it. And those really are the only two sinking funds that aren't every time we get paid. I try to go through them alphabetically. So those are the two that are up this time. And then, so that's fireproof safe. So up next would come retirement. Now my husband does not have at all retirement from work. Because of that, I have multiples from mine. I've got my state retirement system, and then I've got a 403b 3B because I'm a teacher, and then some extra savings that we've set aside, and then this, which is a retirement. The goal is for it to be towards retirement. So I put $5 of his check, and then savings. Try to stuff a little bit from his check into a savings, so in case something comes up and we need to bust into it, I have it. And then another recurring that happens off of his is the tag. And this time I'm only going to put $5 in. We are creeping on needing to redo tags, and I think we're getting really close. I'm going to be honest, when I started the sinking fund, I did not pay attention. I didn't have any idea how much I was going to need. We've got 3 cars and an RV for to tag in the house, so I'm trying to get like $200 in there. We're really sneaking close to that mark, so $5 more into there. And all of this should be 55, 20, 30, 40, 55. Subtract that from 365. That one I can do in my head. So that should give me 310.01. Now, I know if I did that wrong, someone's going to tell me, so I'm going to make sure I subtract my 55. 310.01. Yay! Mental math is not my thing. My husband teases me all the time. Rosa, you're a math teacher. Yeah, I know, but that doesn't mean I can do mental math. All right. And then the last thing that I'm going to take some of this money from are our savings challenges. So, savings challenges. We have about, I think it's 8 savings challenges, 7 or 8 that I'm doing this year. There are 2 that I am really pushing and trying to make sure to get completely funded by the end of this year. And we'll talk about those as we go along. So I have a 5-cent challenge, which really is for my emergency fund. I'm going to put $5 in it. I have a 25-cent challenge. I have a 50-cent challenge. I have a $1 challenge. I have a $5 challenge. I have a $10 challenge, and then I have a 1 month ahead challenge. And the 2 that I'm really trying to make sure I get stuffed are my 1 month ahead and my $1. My $1 is my Christmas challenge, and my 1 month ahead is my Save 2022 and 2022. So I'm going to put $5 in my nickel. I'm going to put $2 in here. 50 cents is going to get $3. My Christmas is going to get 15, because again, this one I'm really trying to push for. My $5 is going to get 5. My $10 is going to get 5, and my 1 month ahead is going to get 25. All right, so 25, 30, 40, 55, $65. 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, $60. All right, so that's 2 separate numbers. I should be at 60, but I did not for some reason. Okay, so 25, 30, 40, 50, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, 60. See, I told you I'm not good at mental math. And then if I take this 310 and subtract 60, I should get 40. Nope, 250. See, this is why I need a calculator. All right, so 250.01 should be a carryover. I'm going to be honest, I know that's not going to happen. So this money actually is our, if something comes up between pays, this is where we go to pull it from if it's not something that I already have money pulled for, or if by chance my husband needs money for something. So this is, though it's here, I technically, it really isn't. Like last month we had, what, 200 left over, and we ended up having $100 in extra gas because we had to go over to my daughter's for something in the truck, and then she needed it to borrow it. And then the other 100, to be honest, I don't remember what it was. I think he needed a little bit more cash. And then this 64, oh, this 64. So I actually I don't know how, but this $64 didn't end up getting used. So instead I left 20 in as a buffer, and I pulled 40 out, and I already put it in to my 1 month ahead savings challenge. So actually, let me write that down because I did not carry this over. So let's jot some notes. Leave as buffer. This $64, actually 40 went into 1 month ahead, and 20 as buffer. Leave as buffer. So I like to write myself notes so that I know what happened to it. So that's why that $25 is there and it didn't get carried over, and that's why the $64 didn't get carried over, because it sits there. So I've already done that, and then this is the goal for the rest of his check. That $250, I don't know where we're going to be with that, but I'd rather leave it in right now as buffer. Hopefully it won't get spent and it will carry over into week 3. So that is my week 2 January budget. I want to say thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, I'd love a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below, and if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye, guys.